Peace, everybody. This month, March 2022, we produced Angel and Z Radio Silver Mops and hand-done MTNW sticker packs. The ink was handmade by and for graffiti writers and hand-poured in the studio. These products will be shipped to our Patreon members and are available only to our Patreon members. Those who sign up get our monthly products sent to them and access to our Patreon-only episode library. The Silver Mops and MTNW sticker packs both come together with our Patreon and are shipped to our members. We also have a lower tier membership that gives you access to our entire Patreon episode library. We got new Patreon-only episodes out with graffiti writers Bat and Ola, available to all of our members, as well as Duel, Wayne, Les, XSM, Cash4, Host 18, Sake, and GS Landlords. Members also gain access to episodes of Z and I speaking on a range of topics from graffiti to books to mental health to life, and can message us any questions for upcoming episodes. The link to our Patreon is in this episode's description. On another note, if you want to get clothes made, do it through Classy Screens. They're a small business that's been working in the industry and our community for years. They've worked with graffiti writers like Claw Money, Noxer, and UFO 907, legendary LES artist Clayton Patterson, New York's first skate company, Shut, and one of the best graffiti shops to have come out of New York, Paradise Plus. They're the best of the best, fast work, quality outcomes with the latest tech for printing designs. They've been supporting us since we started and donated lots of clothes for the food and jacket drive that we had at Tompkins Square Park. Good people. All the clothes we've made was through them, and we're just blessed to get support from a company that's been doing it locally in New York with the best people out. The link to their website and Instagram is in this episode's description. Follow them, show them some love. Like I said, they're really good people. Immense gratitude, as always, to everybody who's blessed us with a listen or support of any kind. Enjoy the episode. Peace. Basically, I know very few people who dislike the police as much as you do. When did you start deeply disliking them, and why? Why? How come? What happened?
So I remember when I was younger, being black, the cops harass you no matter what. But when I was younger, like real young, the cops would just come and harass my dad for whatever. He would always be doing some bullshit, whatever in the streets. So they come to my house, and where I'm from, you can't even be on our property. You know, like legally, if you enter our property without like a warrant or whatever, you can't. You know, you have to have a warrant or whatever the fuck. So early on, the cops would come to my house, and my dad would be like, y'all gotta get the fuck on. Y'all gotta go, you know? And I'd be like, what the fuck, who are these people? Why do they have guns, you know? Like, why are they all like badged up? Like, why do they look like crazy? They look like fucking like movie characters. And my dad's like, no, that's the police. Like, you've only seen them in movies, but here they are to harass me. Like, that's the only time I've seen cops ever to, like, harass kids in the neighborhood, or, like, my dad, or, like, stuff. People just having fun. Cops come, they harass them. They ruin the fun. So from an early age, cops have always ruined the fun. Like, barge in your crib, ruin the fun. Just, that's what they're known for. So from an early age, I was always like, fuck the cops. And my dad was like, never talk to them. Never call 911 if you have an emergency. Like, if you break your arm, call me. If you're getting beat up, call me, you know? Like, it's not like, if you're about to die, call the cops. Like, it's like, if you're about to die, who's that number you dial? My dad, like, instantly. Fuck, like, dialing 911, you know? I've never dialed I've never literally been on my phone and been like, 911, like, never in my life.
How different do you think the cops are, like, in Michigan versus New York?
Michigan, the cops are weird, so I could go out, like, a whole night and not even see a cop. You understand? But the police presence in New York is so crazy that, like, I go to my train station, I see a cop. I get on the train, there's a fucking cop on the train. I get off the train, there's a cop on the next platform. It's like, there are too many cops here, and they don't do anything. They do harass people, but, like, they just sit there on their phones, like, oh, it's like a waste of tax money and like, what are you guys doing? Like, pick up the trash off the fucking ground, do your fucking job, like, take care of the neighborhood. Like, that's what you're there for, to take care of the fucking whatever. Like, you're supposed to take care of the people. Like, if you're just sitting around on your phone, you're not doing anything. Like,
well, that's actually something I wanted to ask you is, what do you think some of the biggest problems are with the cops, specifically in New York?
In New York, I just think they waste a bunch of fucking time. Like, there shouldn't be that many cops out and about. Like, whatever, you guys can have your police, whatever, because people think it's safe with the cops around. I don't. But, like, if they want to have a certain police presence, make sure those cops, when they're out and about, are doing something, like stopping rapists, stopping murderers, like, not just, like, watching people hop the train and, like, giving them hopping tickets. Like, they're like, oh, it's slow, like, we gotta go to the train station. It's like, it's slow, go home. Be with your family. Like, why are you out in the streets, like, wasting time, like, wasting our money and wasting your time because you look like a dumbass because you're either harassing, like, little kids, like I said, hopping the train or, like, doing little bullshit, or you're not catching the right people. Like, there are mad murderers, rapists, like, all that type of shit in the city that go uncaught. Like, if there are cops doing their job, it would be like, there'd be no one getting away with murder. No one getting away with like shit like that. I wouldn't be able to fucking steal paint. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to do anything if police were doing their job, but they don't, and so we're here.
It seems like, especially in the last year, if you watch the news, it like crime is crazy. You know, like you turn on the news at any point and it's some crazy headline, like stuff you like people in movies like can't even make up for scripts. You know what I mean? Like rowdy hatchets, like getting pulled out in like banks, and like I don't even know, like chopping people down, like I don't know, rowdy murders, and like I don't know, it's just craziness. And my question to you is, I mean, you kind of answered it with what you just said, you know, how they can be placed differently and like, you know what I mean, like more strategically, I think, to where, like points where, I don't know, these things, but it's hard to tell when these things happen because these people that do these crimes are like pretty heinous and like not all there, you know what I mean? So you never know. But my question to you is, do you think that cops, despite hating them so much, are somewhat necessary in this world?
I've thought about that a lot. I've had that conversation with mad people. I have a friend, his dad is a cop, and we've gotten in arguments. We're not friends anymore, so let's just say it like that. But his dad is a cop, and we've talked, and I'm like, yo, what do you think your dad does all day? Like, it's like, what do you think he does? I don't know, like, does he do anything to help people on a day-to-day basis, or does he just, like, fuck off and, like, harass people all day? So I feel like certain places do need cops. I think cops don't need guns. I think cops should pick up a fucking baton or whatever, and like just like a regular human, there shouldn't be any guns involved in the police department, and there should be way fewer cops. We shouldn't feel like overwhelmed to go outside and like scared to walk around because there's like a cop in the station and like a cop down there. It's like, I just think if the police want to do right, by me at least, I don't know, I don't care, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but by me, there should be less of them. They shouldn't be able to carry guns, and they shouldn't have so much power. They should be like a regular civilian. They can make a civilian's arrest. You can try to arrest me, but legally you shouldn't be able to detain anyone unless they kill someone, rape someone, like the hard crimes. Like if I'm writing on a wall and you run up behind me and tackle me and beat the shit out of me for painting on a wall and then arrest me, I think that's, I don't know, like that's a waste of time.
On another note, another thing I wanted to talk about was that you're probably one of the most positive people I know. Every time I see you, you're super gassed, happy to be alive. Have you always been this way?
No, not always. There are times when I'm not as happy, but I stay happy, you know? I got a little guy now, I gotta stay happy no matter what. Even before that, you know, I'm always like cheery, positive. There's a lot of shit that goes on in life, you know, you go through bullshit, this, that, and the third, people die, people come into your life, they go into your life, people, you know, drugs, whatever the fuck the case may be. You gotta just stay positive, because fucking positivity is key. I don't know, you can go out in the world and be all sad and like mad all day, and it's like, it's just a waste of energy. Like, I could get beat up, stabbed, whatever. The next time, be smiling. I may be like in my head, like, holy fuck, I just got beat up a little bit, or like whatever. But I'm gonna be smiling at the end of the day. Like, I'm gonna always keep a smile on my face, cause like I could be gone, and that could be my last day. And then I spent it all mad or negative, like, ugh, like I catch myself get mad or like in a mood, and I'll be like in that mood for like 3 hours, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I so upset? Why am I so worked up? Why? Either it could be sadness, madness, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just start laughing because I'm like, why am I even like doing this? Like life is so good. Like I could have $6 in my pocket, or I could have $6,000 in my pocket, and life is still amazing. You know, like I'm alive, I'm here, I'm not on any drugs, I'm not homeless. Like I have good friends, good family. Like what else can I ask for?
Where do you think this mindset comes from?
I don't know. My dad was always so positive. He just kind of like passed it on to me. I feel like all my siblings are pretty positive for the most part. Like some of them might have their like ups and downs, but my dad he's always positive. Like my dad's locked up right now, free him. But for real, always like I call him and he's like, "What up, no?" Like chilling. I'm like, "Nigga, when the fuck you getting out? Like, come on, let's go." And he just doesn't care. He's like, grown ass man, I do, you know. He's just like whatever, like positive as hell, just like trying to make me laugh. I'm like, "Nah, this is serious." Like trying to talk to you. He's like, "Nah, we're not getting serious." Like he's all jokes. So I feel like positivity comes from all him. Like no matter what, dude. I remember our house was about to get foreclosed when I was a kid. Had boards on it, literally boarded up. I had boarded up my house for a couple of days. He comes back. I come back from my homeboy's house. He comes back. He's smiling. He like, what the fuck? I'm looking at him like, what the fuck are we gonna do? We can't go in, can we? He's like, this is my house. We going in. Takes a piece of wood off and we go right back into the house. I'm like, damn. He calls the bank. They're stressing. He's like, I'm gonna pay you right now. My bad. Just mad positive. I'm like, how did you forget to pay this? Like, what the fuck? Like, but just always positive, like no matter what. So I feel like pass that down on me easy. And then I want to pass that down on my son. Keep it going, you know.
That's what I was just gonna say is that especially having a child, like it's important because that kid will take on. They watch everything. Don't think they miss a thing. You know what I mean? So the fact that you're doing that, like, obviously don't show them that you're just careless about everything, but just showing like a positive, even a smile, like I feel like a kid will just have such a better time existing. I don't know.
He loves it. You wake up in the morning and you see him smiling. You can't, like, I wake up this morning at 7, I'm like, and then I look at it because all I hear is, you hear him cry, and I'm like, I just went to sleep at like 5. It's 2 hours. And then I'm like, he runs into the room and I see his face and I'm like, like I can't do nothing but like laugh and smile because it's like so positive. Like, he's like a ball of joy. Like,
yeah, and the innocence, like it's crazy. Like we're just talking about some craziness going on in the world, but like a child, like, does not have any idea, and they're just genuine about everything.
He has no idea what goes on out there. Yeah. He just knows his little bubble, and he loves it. Shit.
How has having a child changed your life?
Dude, it really made me think, like, I need to stop wasting my time doing so much bullshit. I call myself, so I'm not from New York, obviously, and I call myself when I got here just not focusing on my goals. Like, I wanted to focus on my art. I wanted to focus on, just honestly focus on my art. Like, I moved away because whatever, the scene in Michigan was just like, it's popping, but it's not very popping. And I wanted to just dial in and focus on art. People don't think graffiti or whatever graphics, art bonding is art. I think it's art. That's my art form. I go out and practice every day. So I just got, I'm getting off topic a little bit.
No, go ahead, keep going. You're talking about art and how you came here. You didn't focus.
Oh yeah. It's just like, I don't know, like fucking, yeah. So I feel like fucking Jesus Christ. What was the question again?
The question was originally, how did having a child change your life? And you said that it made you realize you weren't focusing on the things you should have been. Yeah. You came to New York and you want to focus on your art.
Yep. So I just got distracted. I feel like he really got me to sit down and be like, okay, this is what I need to do. I really love fucking painting graffiti. I'm going to paint graffiti. I'm going to make sure I paint graffiti, but I'm going to make sure I'm there for him all the time, whenever I can be. I won't say I'm there every day, but I'm there 5 days of the week, you understand? And I'm there positive. I'm there, fully there, mentally, physically. So he really got me to just kind of get my shit together in a way. There was a time I was just out every day. Some weeks I'm still out every night, but not every day. Like, there was times when it's just like, boom, every day, paint rack, paint rack, paint rack. And it's like, eventually that gets fucking tiring. And especially having a kid, you can't do that all day. I could fucking still rack and paint, but it's got to be a different type of time. And I got to be real safe. So it's like, do I take the crazy risk still? Yeah, I'll take a crazy risk. But this is the thing, it's got to pay off. It's got to be like something worth it. It can't just be like continuous stupid crazy risks. So I really like, in the graph aspect, I feel like graffiti to me is not really a big crime. So I'm not going to chill out with that. But I'm going to chill out like wilding out in the streets, stealing as much, fucking doing all the other bullshit besides graph. Like, because there's a lot of other bullshit that I was doing, which is not too crazy, but it's just better that I stay away from that. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to get more dialed in. I'm going to just be focused on, like, my art, my family, money, and my goals, Instead of just, like, oh, I'll come chill in Lower all day, or oh, I'll come chill in, like, that part of the Bronx all day, or, like, oh, you're chilling in Queens, I'll chill in Queens and smoke weed all day and, like, waste away. Like, today I haven't even smoked any weed, and you know what I mean? Like, 3 years ago, it's rare. Like, I wake up every day, backwood, like, mad backwoods and shit. Now it's like I wake up and I go straight to what I need to do. I had shit I had to do today. So I woke up, did my shit, boom, boom, boom. And now I'm here. Like, I made it here, haven't smoked. I'll probably smoke at night, like an old man. But it's just like I really am more focused, less like in the BS.
What did you think when you found out that you were going to have a child? What was going through your head? Because I remember I was hanging out with you a lot at that time. And I think you might have told us, and we were all like, oh, shit, dude, this is fucking crazy. I think I told you, like, we were in the back of, and I'm like, your ass better start working fucking union right now. And I was like, you better quit this shit right now and start working. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I really got to get it together. No, I'm going to be honest. So when I found out, I was fully in shock. I didn't know I was going to have a kid. I have a lot of siblings. Fully together I have 14 siblings. Or like, I'm the 14th, Not in order, but there are 14 of us all together. I really thought, I was like, I'm never going to have any kids, like ever. And then I met old girl, and then we really started hanging out a lot and chilling a lot, and then that escalated, and then we are today. And when it first happened, I was so shocked. I was like, I don't know whether to run or to hide or to do whatever, but I know in the next year I need to get focused. I need to stop being all over the place, because I was all over the place, you know. I was just like, it's not in a bad way, just like all over the place, like emotions everywhere, you know, like every night doing different stuff, and that's fine, but it really just like made me like, holy shit, I gotta bunker down and get ready for this. And whatever she needs, because that's my son, I'm right there. So whatever you want me to do, I got you. But when it first happened, it fucked me up, I can't lie. Like, I was like, where do I go in the world? I was like, where do I go? Where do I go? I need to escape. Where do I go? So I was thinking about moving out of the country, this, that, and the third, and then I'm like, what the fuck am I thinking about? I love my dad. My dad loves me. He probably could have the same situation. He's not with my mom, you know, they were never together. So it could have been the same exact situation with my dad that happened to me. So I'm thinking about all that, and I'm like, you know what? What am I talking about? I'm fully here for this guy, 100%. Whatever they need, I'm right there.
Do you ever, when you think about it, do you think about it as like such a positive thing that's happened to you, as opposed to like when you think of like, oh, a younger person having a child unplanned, what a disaster. You would, people think of it that way. How have you actually experienced it though?
Yeah. So at first, I can't lie, I was tweaking. I thought it was a disaster, blah blah blah. Like, you know, like I just thought, you know, I was fucking young. I thought it was a disaster. And that was only for a week. That phase only lasted for a week, and I was like, fucked up. Like, where am I going, you know? And then that didn't last a week. What am I saying? It lasted a while. It lasted the whole pregnancy. I was just like, what the fuck are we going to do? What am I going to do? What are we going to do, you know? And then he was born, and I seen him, and I was like, holy fuck. Like, this is a little me. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything else. This is my guy. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not a disaster at all. It's a blessing. Mm-hmm. And it's a blessing that I have to accept. It's not a blessing that you can like go out and say just, oh yeah, I'm blessed to have a kid and like I'll see him once or twice a week, because I know people like that. It's like, no, I'm blessed to be in his life, and I have to show up on a day-to-day basis, and I have to be there in a way where I can't just be sitting around being on my phone. It's like, no, this is a little kid. He needs your presence. Like, put that phone away. Don't be high around this kid, and like fucking be a real guy, you know? Be a dad. Like, you know, like my dad was so positive to me. I want to do the same thing. Like I looked up to my dad like a fucking like a superstar. I want my son to do the same thing. Do you
ever think about those times when, I think it was like a few years ago during the summer, when there was seemingly, even I think back on it now, and it seems like there was no care at all of what was happening. Like, I would just go in the morning and you guys would just be there like pretty much doing anything you wanted.
Literally.
Show up whenever, you're wearing a fucking Hawaiian tee. You haven't like eaten anything, like
really not eating, already did like 4 spots.
Yeah, walk down the street, fucking go get the peanut butter punch smoothie, come down,
the best.
Fucking you know who's just pretty much sleeping in the back, dude. I don't care what he says, dude. He's like
never working.
He's sleeping in the back, and there's just no worries.
No worries.
Do you ever think about that time and how now with a child, like there is more worry?
Yeah.
There has to be more work.
There's way more. Hell yeah, dude. I think back on those times and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm so happy we were able to do that. Like, holy fuck, we were really able to do that. And like, that was a time period that we'll never be able to recreate. We'll never be able to go back on. We were blessed to have that time period. Like, that right there was like one of my like, there are time periods where you look back in your life, like, what was your favorite? Like, it always changes because you get older and like, oh, last year was my favorite. Oh no, last year was my favorite. Like, you know, like that time period was so like golden and magical. Like, I'm not from New York, and to be like blessed to work in that store and be around all these different people and like just literally like like we were chilling, like running it, literally running it in a way where it's like in our own way. Run it, bub, like straight up, like literally, and we'd get there every day and it's like run it, easy, like easy.
Dude, you know it's crazy too, because people like, you hear that common cliche like, oh, you don't realize like how precious the current moment is. You're living in your golden era and whatever, and it's like, to me, when I look back on that short segment of our lives, I'm like, damn, dude, that seems like a movie, bro. When I see some of the pictures, I'm like, it seems like a fucking movie. And what I don't want to lose sight of is that, like, right now is that same time period.
Same time period.
Like, we're going to look back on right now and be like, holy shit, that was fucking insane,
we're really
dude.
fucking doing that.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy. I look back on, like I said, every year you look back on. Like, I look back at 2021, and I was like, holy fuck, I really fucking was just painting it all the fucking time. Like, I had so much going on. I was there for my family, obviously, during the day. But when it hit nighttime and when that man went to sleep, it's straight to the streets. Like, it was like, holy... Like, I think about how many... Like, I tried to count how many fills I caught last year, and I lost count at like fucking like 900 something. And I was like, okay, well if I can do that in a year, what can I do next year? 2022, like this is 2022. I'm gonna fucking go triple that, you know, quadruple that. So it's just, I don't even know. You look back at time, I don't know, gold. Like every year it's gonna get better. It's not like gonna get worse unless you're a fucking drug addict shithead. Like it's gonna continue to just get better and better. Life, especially if you're continuously growing. Like I see myself like in the next 5 years to just continuously grow.
How do you go about graffiti? You talked about how you have goals in it. What are your goals, and how do you go about your art that you practice? You said.
Yeah. So I don't know. Graffiti is really important to me. I remember when I was a young kid, my boy that got me into it, he was younger than me, and he was just really like, he would go and do it, and I'd be like, I'd meet up with him to skate, and I'm like, oh my God, you did all that last night? And I we would be like skating around our city. He'd be like, look up there, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I remember doing it as a young kid. It was just like, just to see my stuff, you know? Like I started when I was 13. So like, it was just to see my stuff, you know, as a young kid around my neighborhood. And then the older I got, the more I was like, this is really art form. Like this could really take me away from all the bullshit in the streets, all the bullshit that happens at school, the bullshit that happens at home. This is my thing. Like this is what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. I'd seen it as at the age of 14. I was like, I'm gonna be doing this for so long. Like, and then when I hit like 16, 17, I really understood like how to start using cans and like trying to do straight letters and doing this, doing that. So I don't know, it just really fucking, graph really helps me a lot. Like I could have a fucking manic episode all fucking day and be like a crazy person and like not want to be around anybody. And then I'll just go paint all night alone and I'll catch like 20 spots and feel good. I'll feel like I'm here, you know? I'll feel like I'm grounded. I'm here on this earth. I just created something that I don't necessarily like that much. I think it's cool, but I'm gonna get to the point where I love it, you know? Every one, you get better and better, you know? You get like, boom, boom, I don't know. It just like connects the dots.
And this was in Michigan, right? When
Yeah.
you started?
Yeah, I started when I was 13, so I started a while ago. My younger homie, he was 12, painting graffiti, and like, I was like, what the fuck is that shit, you know? And he was like, dog, you could do it too, just like get a marker or whatever. And I was like, let me use yours. He's like, oh, you can't use mine. And I'm like, fuck. So I went and got my own marker, you know, I went and stole my own marker. And then I'm like, oh shit, got a marker. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I linked up with him, and he's like, no, but you suck, I'm good, you know, like, you're toy, you call me toy. And I'm like, oh fuck, like, most toy nigga walking right there, baby. Like, there we go. Like, I'm a toy, fuck it. Like,
How'd you start learning about everything?
it's crazy. I started learning about graph shit. Like, when you start, you're young. You don't know nothing. You just know like the low. I didn't even know anything. So I would just like do like little shit in my neighborhood, whatever, with markers, whatever. And I don't know what I'm doing. So like, I'm going out in the world, and there are other writers where I'm from, but like, I didn't know them when I was super young. I was just doing it in my neighborhood. So when it first started, it was like, what the hell is this? My older brother would be like, hey, give me that shit. Do like his like gang graffiti, like his gang shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like my friends would all be trying to use my paint and stuff and like writing their name and stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not how you do it. Like I do tagging. Like what the fuck is tagging? And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck it is. I just started it, you know? And then eventually I met fucking, me and my homeboy would always go out, you know. He would know, and he'd be putting me on and stuff. He'd be like, oh, this is a good graffiti writer. Oh, this is this person, or oh, this is this. And eventually I learned about the local scene, and then I learned like, oh shit, like there's an internet population for it. Flickr, I don't know if y'all remember Flickr.
Yeah.
So I got on Flickr in like 2014, 2013, and we would just be like looking through everybody's Flickr account, like all the locals, all the Detroit people's Flickr accounts. Like there's a lot of history in Detroit. I'm not from Detroit. Not from Detroit, I'll say it like that. But I'm from right next to there, and there's a lot of history in that city. Like there's a lot, like people are like, no, there's no style from Detroit. There's a style from Detroit. And I learned that at a young age. I was like, that's Detroit style. Like, this is New York style. So I just was literally a graph, like a lot of people say this, but I was a graph nerd as a kid. Like, once I realized how big the culture was, like I was like, at first I just thought it was like, nobody did graffiti outside of Michigan, you know? Like, I just thought in my neighborhood, these people painted like this gang graffiti and like this gang. I didn't, you know, you don't know it's worldwide. You don't know it's like everywhere. Because there's not a lot of graph in my city, you know? So it's like, we were the only ones doing it, other than like the couple of like other locals. And they went to the chill spots, like the bridge spots, or the freights. And I didn't even know what the hell that was when I was a kid, you know? I was just like, I'm gonna do my name here, and like, I don't give a, you know, I don't know. And when I found out that there was a whole worldwide community, it blew my mind. I was like, people are doing graffiti in Africa, people are doing graffiti in New York. It started in Philly, and like, it's the best in New York, and like, San Francisco, they bomb buses. Like, it was like a whole fucking, I was obsessed with it, you know? And like, I got arrested for graph as a young kid, and like, when that happened, I literally went on a rampage of just studying graffiti. Like, I was on house arrest for like 3-4 months, and like, in that time period, I literally just nothing but like graph videos, like state your name every day, like waking up. Like my dad was like, turn that shit off, nigga. And I'm like, no, this shit is fire. Like, look. And he's like, bro, them niggas look like drug addicts. Like, turn that shit off. And I'm like, no, these are like the best graffiti writers in the world. Like, watching like fucking like Les and like State Your Name, like I was like, what the fuck? Like that shit is crazy. I remember watching Knox's part and State Your Name, me and my little brother watching it. He's like, man, this nigga don't really kill people. And I'm like, bro, this nigga is really a murderer. Like this nigga is the shit. Like just being a little kid, you're like, yo, this nigga really will kill you. I don't know what you're talking back there. This nigga's like the real deal. Like,
Killed 10 people with that knife.
yeah,
right?
like he literally
Before the interview.
So I don't know, like watching that all those graffiti videos, like really was like, what the fuck? Like sent me on a fucking like rocket ship across the fucking world. I was like, holy shit. And it's fucked up to say, but the internet really pushed me to like do more.
It's fucked up. I think it fucked up a lot. I mean, I think it pushed a lot of people to do more.
It's fucked up to say, like Flickr, I really seen Flickr and I was like, oh shit, these are the possibilities. Like this is what you could do with graph. Like, cause I just see my, you know, it was just me and my homeboy and like we'd see the local shit and people killed it and where I'm from, but like,
Even a 12-ounce profit forum, when that used to exist, that was the shit. Or like the way that Art Primo would, the way that they would make videos that they, or like Bazooka Films, like
Bazooka Films.
the way that those dudes would make videos, the way that like the graffiti community approached the internet was just perfect. Especially when Instagram became more of a thing and graffiti writers started making them, like the way that some of these writers, not all of them now, like so many people have graph accounts and a lot of it is it's just not as well done. But like the way that the OG heads made Instagrams and approached their posts, it's like, damn, you're like approaching this with fucking style.
Even like Oink Art, when they would do the reviews on the caps and shit.
Oh, that shit is hilarious. I was a little kid watching those.
Yeah.
I remember I stumbled upon Kes5's Instagram when I was super young, way before I moved to New York. Kes5's Instagram, and everybody grew up on Waka Flocka Flame. Like you heard at least one Waka song. So I see Waka Flocka is posing with one of his canvases in like 2015, like, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like niggas are really connected with the rap world? Like I don't know, it just blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck? Like Kes5 canvas inside of Waka Flocka's hands, like Waka Flocka probably still has that canvas in his crib. Like think about that. And Kes5 is dead. He probably don't even know that. That's wild.
Do you ever feel like when you're out painting, like the graffiti you're doing literally in that moment is an investment into like maybe being in a gallery or like selling canvases? Like the more you do, the more valuable it'll get, or like if you work on your style more, then like it'll be even more valuable. It'll appeal to different populations and shit like that. Do you ever think that, like in terms of like an investment?
So I think about that sometimes. I don't know. I think about more of like I want to paint as much as I can before I die. And I want it to influence people to go out and paint as well and do art as well. And I like, oh, they see that, they see my spot off the train, they see that spot on the ground, they see the spot there, they see the spot there, like they see a little marker tag there. They're like, holy shit, what's this guy doing? What's this guy fucking thinking every fucking day? And it is like little investments. It's like, oh shit, if you see me on a fucking t-shirt, or you see me in like a little fucking like, on a piece of or pair of pants, it's like, holy shit, I just see it on the street. I want those pants too. It's like, I don't know, like it's cool. Graffiti is everything. Like graffiti is that shirt you're wearing, you know? It could be everything. I want to be up everywhere, you know?
Do you remember the first times that you came to New York and you see the graph here in person?
I was 16, I remember, or 17, I remember. And I painted at the time because I started when I was young. But I came here and I brought, because we drove, I brought like 12 cans with me. And I remember like being like, I'm not even about to paint. Like, there's too many graffiti writers. There's too much graffiti. And that was in, what year was that? 2015? I came here the first time, and I was like, what the fuck? There's just too much graph. Like, I don't even know. No name stuck out to me. I was hoping to come here and I would see, like, Scuff, you know, Noxer, like, people like that. I ain't seen nobody. I seen, like, just, like, random people. You know who I seen the most, that was up the most in that time period? Is those R2B heads. They were the most up in that time period. Just when I came through, you know, where I was. Like, I was staying in, like, Long Island City, and, like, I would be in the city. So when I came here, I was like, okay, those are the dudes that are the most up with black and white fills. But who else is doing it with, like, pieces and like, where is that? Because if you come from Detroit, you see a lot of straight letters, gorgeous, you know, gorgeous graph. But then I came here and I was like, where the fuck is all the fucking, not that it's bad graffiti, but these are throw-ups. I want to see like some crazy shit. Like I want to see like, boom, 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 like stomper down a fire escape, like some crazy shit, which you did see, but you got to go to certain neighborhoods. So I was just overwhelmed. I was like, I'm never going to fucking paint in this city. Like I'm going to do like, what, 3 fills and they're not going to fucking do anything. Not going to mean anything. And then the more I started coming, I came here and one more time before I moved here, and I was like 17 or 18 at that time, and I painted a little more, and I realized like, holy shit, this is fucking like again, like holy shit, this is fucking nuts. Like, you go to a certain part of Queens, and you're not gonna see the same artists that you've seen in Queens in a certain part of the Bronx, unless it's those little groups of people, like those little niches of people that like go all city. Other than that, like, so I was in a part of Queens that I'd never seen any of these people. And then I went to a part of the Bronx and I'm like, what the fuck are they? For one, what are these? Who are these people? Like, what the fuck? I don't even know. It was crazy. Like, I was overwhelmed by all the names. Like, there's like 10,000 writers in each fucking borough.
There's a lot of writers, man.
There's a lot of writers.
Just on one roof, when you see like all stacked up on top of each other, people like groups of people must have been there on different nights, just using ladders to hit different levels of the roof. It's pretty crazy how many writers there are in New York, but like the ratio of how many there are versus how many really stand out is also crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm in the Bronx a lot, and like you see like a lot of these I don't know about what the hell's going on, but like a lot of these Bronx heads are like trying to go all city, like a lot of them. But some of them like just started, so they might be lacking a little bit of style or whatever. They're not toy, but they're just lacking a little bit of style or whatever. I don't know, that shit is crazy to me. It's like these motherfuckers are really like doing it, and then you see like kids from Queens trying to go all city and coming into the Bronx, and it's just like a whole fucking like, I don't know. These kids people don't stick out to me. Some of them, they can go. They might be all city, but like they don't stick out, or like they might have a lot of spots. They're not all city, but they might have a lot of spots, but they don't stick out. I feel like there's like maybe like 50 or 60 writers out of these tens and thousands of writers that stick out in New York.
Do you think that like social media might have played a role in like people not wanting to practice as much before going out? You know what I mean? Because I feel like back in the days, like what people see in person is your reputation. You know what I mean? But like on Instagram now, you can do some shit or like get mad likes and like comments from people all over the world saying you're the king.
Yeah.
So do you think that plays like a role, like social media?
Yeah, for one, I don't have like a graph Instagram. Like I don't. I'm like a part of like that group Instagram. It's called Slash and Burn. Follow Slash and Burn .exe. Come on, but yeah, I don't know. Graph Instagram is fucking weird to me because it's literally just like people promoting their graffiti. I don't even know. Like it's just like you go to their Instagram, it's just all posts like their graph. And it's just like, okay, well, if I was a cop, this is the first place I'm coming, and I'm just gonna look at all the addresses in the corners and like, oh, you took a picture of this gate, that's on fucking Steinway. Oh shit, that's in fucking Harlem. Oh shit, it's like, I think that like, fucking posting all that shit on the internet just gets you like it makes people feel like they're validated. Like it's like, oh, I got like 20 likes on like my film I just did down the block. Like I'm the most valid. Like. Or, oh, like, I went live and, like, 7,000 people were watching, like, and I'm the most valid graffiti writer. Like, I don't know, like, certain graffiti writers, like you were saying, certain graffiti writers come at it right and certain don't. Like, there are people that post every tag they do. And then there's some that, like, post, I don't know about y'all, but, like, Gatsu's Instagram is sick to me. I don't know about y'all. Like, I don't know if you like it or not. I like his Instagram.
Yeah.
Because he does it right. Like, it's not just all of his spots
it's
or this
clean,
or that. It's clean.
Stylish.
It's stylish. Graffiti is like in a way, he made his shit is a brand now. His name is like a brand, not even like a brand, but it's like he's, in a way, it's like he fucking does collabs with people or whatever. He did it right. There are a bunch of graffiti writers that do it right. Like, I recently stumbled upon Panic's Instagram. His is sick. His is like all like, it's good stuff, or stuff like that, or like people like that.
It's very similar to skating. Like, there's a way to dress and have style when you're skating. Yep. And then there's a way where you're doing the kind of the same thing that other people are doing, but you just kind of look corny.
Yeah, you're just looking corny. Like, fucking... Who's another Instagram? Sal's Instagram is real good. Sal's Instagram, very clean. He posts all his good shit, and that's it. He doesn't need to post every fill-in he does. Because it's like, no, he just posted the good shit. You go to his Instagram, it's like a gallery. Like, that's what you should. It should be your gallery. If you have graph Instagram, it should be the gallery of your best stuff. And that's it. I shouldn't see fucking 700 posts of the same fill-in in different spots. I don't care. I don't care about the same fill-in in 700 different spots. I don't care.
How much time do you spend on Instagram in a day?
Depends on the day. I will be honest, it gets fucked some days. Like, some days I'll be like, I'm at home, son is asleep, she's busy doing whatever, and I'm just like fucking like looking at Instagram, getting annoyed. Like, fuck, I'm not saying I sit on it for like 3 hours, but I'll sit on it for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I just lost every brain cell in my body. I have to either hang myself or go fuck off. Like, I cannot do anything anymore. Like, I'm fucked. Like,
well, what's your day-to-day like? Like, right now, what do you do when you wake? What time do you usually wake up? What do you do?
It depends on the day. Like, well, let's say, like, for example, today I wasn't on fucking, like, scoundrel hour last night. I wasn't on fucking, like, painting all night. So I woke up at a regular time, like 9 in the morning when my son woke up. Got him up. We fed him food. Chilled with him. Took his little nap. And we just chilled. I was drawing. I had to fill some, like, fucking paperwork to get the shit done. And it was a chill day. It's cold outside, so I didn't, like, go out much. And then I fucking came here, and on the way here, I fucking filled my bag with paint. And now I'm gonna paint tonight because I don't have any priorities tomorrow. So, like, if I don't go paint that day, it's just family time and, like, working on art at home and stuff like that, like, trying to make money.
How many days a week do you usually paint?
Depends. Like,
And do you...
2021, I painted almost every day, which is fucking retarded. Like, every night, no matter what. Like, even if it was just, like, 3 spots. But I painted it mostly every night. This year, I started out, like, I'd say I paint, like, 4 or 5 times a week.
So do you prefer painting alone? How do you prefer to paint? Because I have a question. Like, you a lot of spots you do, it seems like you don't care. Like, you just go straight on. Like, no lookouts. Like, no, like, nothing matters. You know, if anything, you're looking for an altercation.
Yeah, that's
But, like, which ones do you prefer? Does it just matter on the spot or what? Like, lookouts or no lookouts?
And
like,
and I'm gonna say that I remember. I'm not sure if you remember this, bro.
Probably.
But a long time ago, we were talking, me, you, and a few other people, and I remember you said that it's always safer, and you said it like an absolute. You said that it's always safer to paint with no lookout.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what are you saying,
I
dude?
literally will stick by this. This is fucking retarded. Go ahead and say what you want. This is better for climbing spots too, not for street spots. But if I'm up high somewhere and there are 3 people on the ground looking me out and, like, looking around every 10 seconds and, like, doing whatever, that's gonna blow my spot up. And they keep looking up at me, that's gonna make me high. If I climb up somewhere and no one see me get up there, no one needs to look me out because no one even knows I'm up there unless I make a bunch of noise, which sometimes I do, I won't lie. But so, like, the other night I painted alone and, like, I climbed some shit and I did it and it was chill and I made a bunch of fucking noise, I'll be honest. I, like, fucking fell the first time, tried to get up there a second time, fell, and I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna get up there. Tried a third time, got up there, you know? And, like, did the spot, whatever.
You
chilling,
fell
you know?
twice trying to get up there.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I bust my ass, I won't lie. Like, I kept trying because I don't know. I look at a spot like, I'm gonna do that spot or somebody else is gonna do it. So I'm just like, I'll fucking fall 20 times to do this spot, like, whatever. Skating, you know? Like, people fall the fucking time. They hit their head. Like, I've hit my head and, like, 6 times and got up. Fucking definitely lost brain cells then. So I don't know. I feel like it depends on the spot for a lookout. Like, if I'm on the street and the streets are packed and I'm just doing a gate on the street, you don't really need a lookout. So many people are walking past or doing whatever. But, like, let's say it's, like, dead outside and you're, like, down the street from the precinct and, like, there are cops on foot, maybe you should have a lookout. So it just depends on, I don't know, it depends on the spot.
do you paint sober, high? Like, what do you prefer?
For the most part, I just smoke weed. So, like, if I do fucking go paint, I just get high as hell all night. Other than that, like, I'm pretty much sober. Like, the last couple of nights, like 2 nights ago or like a night ago when I painted, I didn't fucking smoke any weed. I was just sober. It's so cold out, I didn't feel like rolling up. I didn't feel like doing anything. So I was just like, I'm gonna just paint, do as many fills as I can. When my bag is empty, I'm gonna go home. So my bag was empty and I just smoked a spliff on the train on the way home. Like, it was like a long train ride, so I just smoked a spliff.
All right, I have to ask you something that I haven't asked you, and I've been wanting to know for a long time, dude.
Ask it.
There was some night where you were painting with someone, and there was like a fence in between the street, the fence, and then you on your spot, and the cops came like 5 cars deep. By the time they arrived, the lookouts, it was too late. Like, the Silver Surfer had called.
Oh my!
Wait. Just let me just put the backdrop. So by the time they arrived, like, the Silver Surfer had came in, and for those who don't know, the Silver Surfer is just it's kind of like a citizen's arrest kind of.
Fuck him, fuck that nigga, he can die.
It's a guy who basically just sees graph writers riding around, calls the cops, and they come in deep, whatever. So before you know what's happening.
Before we were overwhelmed, dude.
So my question is, so the cops came, right? And then when the cops came, they shined a light or whatever, like a big ass flashlight, and you were nowhere to be found.
I was nowhere to be found.
And you had climbed on the roof,
Yeah.
but you had like pretty much, literally seconds, like at most 8 seconds,
I literally just
4 seconds to climb without making any noise,
No noise.
from the floor to the roof. How did you climb onto that roof? What happened? How long were you on that roof for? And what the hell happened?
So that fucking shit was fucked up. We were painting some stupid spot. Dumb spot, not even worth it. This motherfucker, all I hear is, yo! And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm just thinking it's like, we gotta chill. We gotta stop. And no, it's the cops. It's like 5 of them. Like, we're surrounded. Like, this side of the fence is surrounded, this side of the fence is surrounded. And they pull up right here. This is how we get out. You know, like, there's like one way in, one way out. You know, there's there's one way in, one way out. There's no other fucking way. So my boy, he starts to like, right when he hears yo, he climbs the fence. He like is on the fence, standing on the fence. When I hear yo, I just jump as high as I can, grab onto the roof of the building, or like the fence and the roof, and I just pull myself up, like full body weight, like scratch my whole fucking stomach. Like there was a big scratch on my stomach for a while. And I get up there, and I see the flashlight right when I'm up there, so I just stay still. I'm like still as possible, and they're flashing the light at, oh boy. And he's just sitting there, so he hops the other fence trying to run away. They definitely got his ass. I just stay so still on the fence, and they're like, I hear them like, we know there's another one in there, whatever. I'm on this fucking roof. I'm like, holy shit, I'm not getting arrested for this shit. I know for a fact one of these cops is going down if I'm going down, you know? Like, I'm fighting one of them. Like, that's in my head, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, these niggas come on this roof, at least one of them is going down with me. Like, someone's falling off this roof, you know? So I'm like, fuck. And that's crazy to say, but I know in my head, I'm freaking out, I'm tweaking. I know these niggas want to shoot black people, so I'm like, fuck. So I'm on this roof, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? They're shining the lights. They're going across the street shining lights. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? There's one of those there's generators on the roofs. You know, they have the little windmill in there, whatever. They're fucking, or the AC unit, whatever the fuck. There's 4 of them, and there's a little space in the middle of them. So I'm like, oh, I'm blessed, but I can't make a bunch of noise. So I notice like the cops are like trying to get in the apartment building across the street to shine a light down on the roof. So I'm like, this is my time. So I see like mad cops trying to get into the apartment building. So I literally just like army crawl, go in between like this little thing, and then just like sling my body over in between all these generators, and I just like sit like this for probably 4 or 5 hours. Like I was up there until the sun was about to come up. Like I seen cops the whole fucking night. Like it wasn't even that late. It was still early in the night. It was like 11 or like 10. Like wasn't it? It was like mad early. So I'm just like fucking shook. I'm calling people. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I'm like, I'm like fucking assed out, honestly, because there's nothing nobody can do. Like, there's mad cops on the ground. So I'm just assed out. Dude, I throw up out of nervousness. I'm like, fuck New York. Like, fuck these cops. They're really going this hard for Graf. So I throw up in the middle of all these generators. There's mad throw up on the ground. And I'm just sitting up there like, damn, like I'm about to get arrested right next to this throw up. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is not okay. So I keep peeking my head up. And at the time I had dread. So I'm like peeking my head up and I'm like, cops everywhere. And I get back down and I'm like, I keep looking around like, cops everywhere, okay. And so finally I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna run. I'm like, fucking make a phone call. I'm like, where are you guys? They're like, I'm in Union Square, like already about to be home. I'm like, fucking ass. I'm like, this is bad. So I fucking am like, all right, is there anybody down there? Like I look down, no one's down there. So I'm like, all right, this is my time. Like I don't see any cop. I'm like, all right, this is my time. I get down, I just start running for my fucking life. Got away. I just feel like, I don't even know, like let me knock on wood. I feel like so much shitty shit has happened to me in the past as a little kid that life is like, we're not gonna let you get arrested for Graf. Like, don't fuck up doing anything else, but graffiti, you're gonna get away with it. Like, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna get away with this. Like,
So you've never in New York been? How many times have you been bagged for Graf?
once when I was a kid.
And that was it.
Well, I got arrested one other time. My homeboy snitched on me. Like, fuck that dude. Like, it's not my homeboy. What am I saying? Homeboy. This dude I used to be friends with snitched on me, and that's the only other time I got caught. But he didn't even, it was weird, like, he claimed the cops didn't care.
But
so
in New York, you haven't been.
Hell no. No. In New York, I will run my ass off for miles. I'll go in the tunnels, I'll get on a roof, I'll jump from roof to roof. I will not get arrested for Graf in New York. I will not get arrested, like, no. It's not happening. They're not gonna have my name in some system that says he's been graffiti, you know? Like, no. Those two names don't go together. Like, my name and like graffiti, they don't, you know? Like,
It's so
system,
funny.
you
It's
know?
so funny that you haven't been arrested because you paint pretty wildly.
I paint pretty
I've
recklessly.
seen you like looking people out, and you're like you're throwing Skittles at cars like while you're looking people out. You're not looking anyone out.
It's weird though because my form of looking out is different. My form is like be as ignorant as, well, sometimes be like just like the ignorant nigga in the middle of the street. Like I'm like in the middle of the street like, what's up, bro? Like just messing around, you know, just like either trying to make people laugh or trying to piss somebody off so they don't notice what the fuck is going on and what my homeboy is doing up there or behind me or whatever. Like I've had interactions in the Bronx where it's like somebody's about to walk up to my homeboy and then I'm so retarded next to them that they just come up to me and they press me. They're like, I'm like, yo, dude, like acting like a drug addict. Like, yo, dude, let me get $1. And like my homeboy's trying to paint a spot, and I see the business owner walking up to him, and then I'm like, yo, like, and go up to the dude and like touch him, and he's like, yo, get the fuck off me, buddy. And I'm like, nah, don't mess with the kids painting, you know, just like bullshitting, like, don't mess with the kids, mess with me. And like, just like just being fried as hell. And then they get away with it. As long as my friend gets away with it and they can leave, whatever, I'm fine. Like, I can deal with all the rest of the bullshit. So I've done some fried shit to get.
Yeah, you seem like someone who doesn't have any worries most of the time.
Yeah, I don't really have any worries. Even if I do have worries, you won't know I have worries. Like no one will know. You won't be able to tell like, oh, I'm worried.
Or just in general, not even in terms of graph, but just like in general, like what are some of the things that have gotten you depressed or sad, or because you never seem. Every time I see you, you seem like everything is going perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Life is good. So like, I do be sad and I do be depressed, but it's more for like other shit. Like I would like, for example, when I had fucking corona, never thought I'd get corona. I'd be fucking in dirty ass places. I was like, I'm never gonna get corona. I got corona. I literally lost my mind during corona. I thought I was gonna like kill myself. I was like, this shit sucks. It wasn't even that like the corona got to me, like the pain or whatever. It was the fact that like I couldn't leave and like go paint or like be around people. Like I don't know, I couldn't even leave the house because it would get worse. I got painted like 2 nights when I had corona, dolo both times, and like I caught a lot of spots and did a lot of stuff, but like I was losing it because I couldn't go out and like, you know, like some nights you don't want to paint alone. Some nights you want to be with your friends, you know? And I was losing. I was like, holy fuck, I can't even leave. So like recently that fucked me up so much. Just like I don't know, I like to be outside and like I hate cabin fever. Like I can't stay somewhere for too long, you know? Like it's like continuous for me. Mm-hmm. So that had me fucked up. I was like fucking mad sad. And I ended up fucking shaving off of my hair. I was like, holy fuck, I'm losing my mind. I was like, what's gonna make me fucking happy again? Cut my hair, instantly like smiling again, like, this feels back good, like let's go. Like no more like heaviness and shit. So I don't know, like that shit had me fucked up. Other than that, I try to keep a positive mindset. Like I can get, like I said, anything could happen to me. Like I can get like fucking anything. You could think of the worst shit. If I get shot, the next day I could be smiling. If I get like stabbed, the next day I would be smiling. Like actually, if I get stabbed, the next couple of hours I'll be smiling. Like what the hell am I talking about? Like stabbing is nothing. Gunshot would hurt. I've literally been stabbed. Like that shit doesn't hurt. But like getting fucking shot, or like I don't know, like someone breaking, like smashing my kneecaps with like a fucking baseball bat. Yeah, I'd kind of be sad a little bit for like a day. But like tomorrow.
What's the deal with racking? How prevalent of a practice is it in your life?
I can't pay for paint. This is the fucked up part. I told myself as a little kid never to pay for paint, never to pay for paint. I moved to New York. I'd be buying like last week I bought like a fucking one fancy can. It was like $10. I could have killed myself when I bought it. I'm like, wow, I just spent $10 on this one fucking can. I don't buy paint, you know? But like I wanted like this, like one of these fancy silvers. You know, Rusto silver is not as good as these. So I bought one and I'm like, oh, this is a waste of my life. And like I used it in like 2 spots. And I'm like, are you shitting me? Those are $5 fills each. So I don't know, that feels retarded.
$5 fills, yeah.
Those are $5 fills, like you split a can in half, 5, you know, boom, boom. So I don't know, I feel like if you write graffiti and you do a lot of graffiti, you gotta rack. Like you can't just like continuously buy paint. Like right now I have a lot of paint in my crib. In a month I won't have all that paint at all. Like in a month I'll be a whole different paint setup and I'll need more paint. So I don't know. I rack every fucking other day. I try to rack. I rack clothes. I rack.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is not really racking paint, but racking clothes or extra shit.
Yeah. So paint is like obviously you gotta rack paint. It's essential. But racking clothes and stuff, I don't really do it as much as I would like to. Just because of the situation I have, I don't want to like get caught stealing and like I have a kid and like a whole, you know, that's like so stupid. Like I know if I'm gonna get caught or if I'm not, you know. You walk into a store, you can tell like what the vibes are. Like you're like, all right, this store is not gonna be a go. Let's not rack from here. Or you walk in, you're like, this is gonna be sweet. I'm gonna be good. I know the situation. I like do the situation pretty well, and so if I go and rack clothes, I know I'm gonna be able to get away with it. If I fucking rack
You've never
clothes,
been bagged racking?
No. Not even as a little kid. Like when I used to steal like little shit like airsoft guns and stuff like that. Like never. I remember horror stories of people like getting caught racking and like going through the whole probation system. Like I've never been caught racking. But this is the thing. I'm not dumb. Like I'm not gonna try to force it. Like let's say we drive 2 hours away, and the first like we're at a Home Depot, and we've been driving 2 hours and we're tired, and like it's like let's just get the racking started. First Home Depot, whatever. It's not looking good. Don't do it. You know, whatever. Don't.
There are people who will force it.
There are people who will force
Like
it.
they
It's
have
like,
to walk out with it.
You are retarded. Like I get it. Whatever. You have money to make, or like you know, because a lot of people sell paint or like whatever. You get it. You got money to make. Do not force every single one. You can force some if you really want to, and you're alone. Go ahead, do it at your own risk. But imagine you force it and you're with your friend right next to him, and then like you guys both get arrested because you decided to do something stupid. So it's like I never force it. Like I'm not fucking homeless. Like I don't need to be stealing. I just fucking rack to get free stuff, you know? I don't want to pay for a fucking sweater and it's like there's no tags on it, there's no security guard, and like it's a bunch of hipster yuppies working. I'm gonna take the sweater and I'm gonna fucking put it on and walk out. And like they're not gonna stop me. They're not even gonna call the cops because it's like a fucking $120 sweater, $200 sweater. But like if like, for example, I fucking go into a store and it's like fucking North Face store and it's like they're fucking locked down on security and like everything's fucking tagged up, like everything's fucking beep beep beep, like I'm not stealing anything. Like I'll fucking buy a pair of gloves and leave, whatever, regular fucking civilian shit, you know? So I'm not I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest racker here or anything. I just fucking mainly rack paint and like markers. I love racking markers, that's my thing. I can't help it to go in the store and like grab all the markers and like put them, because it's so easy. You grab it, you go in a fucking little art supply store, beep beep, and now you have like mad markers.
You think it's harder to rack in the city than other places?
No, it's easier. Because there's so many people doing everything, so it's like, oh, whatever. It's just hard because they lock all the supplies up that you want. You know, like that's why it's hard. Because I have a couple of stores that it's like every time. I go in there, I talk the person up, they know my face, you know, I talk to them, and then it's like I just took like 60 of your markers. And they don't even notice, because it's like, they fucking sell so much, and like I just take like a couple of spare ones in my pile, just, you know. So I don't know. I feel like at a certain time, everybody stops racking. I'm gonna always rack paint, but like I'm gonna stop racking on the day to day, you know. Like not rack markers. Like okay, that's something I can start paying for or whatever. Hopefully I fucking get them something for free. Like one day I'm like, oh shit, I don't gotta pay for markers, you know. Like you just get them for free. Something like that would be sick.
Do you plan on living in New York for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. I'm gonna be. I like to travel, so like sometimes I'll move to a state for like a little bit of time and come back. But like New York is like where it's where my son lives. Like it's where I'll be, you know. But like there could be a 4 or 5 month period where like I go to like any other city. I don't know. Like I want to go to other cities, you know. I really have a special heart in my place, or a special place in my heart for the South. Like as racist as the South is, I want to just like put graph in their face, you know, like I want it to just be like everywhere, like boom, 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 like in your face. All that racist bullshit, like cut that. My graphs are in your face, you know.
There's like a stigma, I feel like, in a lot of New Yorkers where they think that if you're not from New York, then you're from like a soft hipster hillbilly town. Like you don't know nothing about crime, you don't know nothing about the rough streets of fucking New York City. You know what I mean? So, have you experienced that where like what do they call it? Like out of towners, like being something like that? Like compared to Michigan, what do you think is like how bad is Michigan compared to New York in terms of like poverty and crime and like from what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, where I'm from, it's just like it's regular, you know. Like I'm from like outside of the suburbs. People are poor, people are broke, but then you have like the rich people on the other side of town, you know. So like my city is pretty well, it's pretty good, you know. Like it's like a mixing pot, you know. It's like whatever, diverse, whatever you want to call it. My neighborhood though is like people call the hood, you know, the hood of that city, you know, because it's like the more rundown part. I don't give a fuck. I know that my city is not hood, you know. I'm not from like the ghetto, you know. I'm not from like, I wouldn't say like, oh bang bang, you know. I'm not from Detroit, so I can't be like, because Detroit is fucked up. Detroit, I've been robbed painting, I've been beat up, you know. Just you deal with a bunch of bullshit out there. So Detroit is real hood. And then I came to New York, and my dad, the only time he came to New York was in the 90s. And he had shit on him. He had a gun on him because he's like, nigga, I'm not going out there without a gun because it's crazy out there. New York in the 90s, I guess, was crazy. So he came out here and he had a gun or whatever. So he was just like, yo, when you come out there, you going to need to do whatever. You're going to need to be ready, you know, for whatever, because it's kind of hood out there. Dude, I get out here and like on arrival, it's like hipster fucking like colorful hair and shit. I'm like, there's no hood in New York. There must not be a hood in New York. And then eventually I realized like New York's hoods are different. Like it's like, you could go to one block and it's like hipsters and whatever. Then you go to the next block over and it's just like all local people, and then they might have like that local gang or whatever, those local people. There's not big, it's not like very hood to me in New York compared to Detroit, because that's what I'm used to now, family there and stuff. It's hood there. You go there, people have their AR out. You go there and like everybody got a gun. Everybody. Here, guns are really fucking like, they're like, it's very low key. There in Michigan, you will literally see somebody in the store with a gun in their hand on some regular shit. Like if they get in an argument, their shit is in their hand. Because it's legal, you know? So, like, I've been able to go in the store and buy a gun. You know what I mean? It's that simple. No, they check, they make sure I don't have a record. I can buy a gun, Glock, right in my hand, $759, you know? Boom, easy. So it's just, it's different. It's like, I don't know. As long as you're minding your business in Michigan and you're not on someone's block like, oh, I'm blood, I'm crip, this, that, and the third, like, as long as you're in your little lane, you're not going to get bothered. But once you enter someone's hood and you're not doing it, like, when I was painting and I got robbed, like I was painting, whatever, and they just were, people are hungry when it comes down to Christmas time, you know? So he's like, Nigga, I need to eat, bro. Fuck that. I need my son need to eat. All these niggas need to eat. What's up, bro? You run your pockets. I feel like that'll never happen in New York. Because, like, it's so, like, somebody across the street will fucking call the cops, like, looking from their windows and do that.
There's a cop on every block.
There's a cop on every block. In Michigan, it's, like, desolate as fuck. Like, where I got fucking robbed, 2 abandoned buildings and no business open. So I'm just assed out. He could have killed me right there and nobody would have found my body for a while, you know? So it's way different. It's a way different thing. It's like, it's more vast. It's more open. New York is so in it. Like, you hear about, for example, we heard about the one murder that has happened in, like, the lower in a while. Bro, you don't hear about, like, the 30 murders that happen every day, like, in Detroit, because, like, nobody even knows these people are dead. Like, I've been in an abandoned building and I've literally walked over a dead body like it was nothing. I didn't think about it. I didn't register that it was a dead body. I'm thinking it's a mannequin or whatever because it was under ice. So I'm just thinking it's like a mannequin foot sticking out the ice. No, it was a dead body because it went on the news later. It's just like that. It's like that serious out there. It's fucking...
What do you think some of the problems are? Well, actually, let me start it like this. What do you like about New York? Why you like it so much that it's where you want to be?
I like it that it's like a bunch of different, like, you go into like different parts of, I don't even know, like, for example, the Bronx has a bunch of different, like, weird, I don't even know. Boroughs have cities inside of them. It's crazy. Like, for example, you're in the Bronx, but you could be in, like, Castle Hill is, like, a little area. Or you could be on, like, Fordham, which is, like, a little whole area. Or you could be on, like, the Grand Concourse, which is, like, a little area. Or, like, little areas. And then you're in Queens, you're in Flushing, Queens. You're in, like, a fucking Astoria, Queens. You're in, like, fucking Elmhurst, Queens. Those are all different cities to me. Like, there's cities as big as those little places in Michigan, like, you know? So it's just crazy. Like, there's a never-ending cycle of, like, places to go and, like, new energy. And, like, it's always something new. It's just, like...
What about all the people you've met? Like, how much has this place changed your life?
Super positively, honestly. Because, like, where I was going in Michigan, it was just, like, I wasn't going anywhere. Honestly, like, I was working a minimum wage job. Minimum wage in Michigan is, like, $9. Now, when I was working, it was, like, $8.50. I wasn't really doing nothing, and I was just, like... I mean, I was doing some of skating, but, like, skating is a waste of time for me, honestly. I'm not going anywhere with it, you know? It's just, like, whatever. I'm a fucking person that skateboards. So, I don't know. I felt like if I stayed in Michigan, I would have just went down, you know? Like, downhill. So, I was like, okay, I have to leave. And, like, when I got here immediately, it's just been positive. Like, positive. Everybody's, like, driven to do whatever they were doing. Like, whatever you came here to do, you're driven to do. I had all my friends were doing different stuff. Like, everybody was doing different things. We all did the same stuff, like, hobbies-wise, but everybody had different goals. They were like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and they were working towards them. In Michigan, people are just stagnant. It's just like, okay, what do you want to do? No, bro, I got a job, I'm good, I don't want to do nothing. It's like, okay, you're making $8.50. This is all you're going to do for the rest of your life? Yeah, bro, I got a job, I'm good. That's not me. So I got out of there because I want to paint for the rest of my life, and there's not a big scene like that there. Not just for graffiti, but for art in general. I just love painting. Like, I can't go a day without painting.
Where do you see yourself, like, 5 years from now? What are some of your goals that you have?
A big goal of mine, I really, really, really want to get... I just want to become... I don't know how to even fucking say this. I really want to start doing, like, more shows or, like, galleries, but in different cities. Like, I want to, like, travel the world. Like, let's say, for example, I go to Japan. I go to Japan for a week. I paint that whole week, and then, like, at the end of a week, I have, like, an art show, or not even an art show, just anything. Like, you know, like, I fucking make a bunch of shirts that are, like, one of ones, you know, and stuff like that. Like, I've always liked clothing. It's like I'm really, like, interested in, like, making clothes. I've been slacking on it, but, like, a lot of my friends are, like, I don't know, I always have that thing in your head, it's like, don't sell out, don't just make a bunch of shirts and do this, do that. But it's like, that's not selling out. I like doing that. I'm always gonna paint. Like, that's never gonna stop. I'm always gonna rack. I'm always gonna do this. I'm always for doing the illegal shit, but it's like, why can't I fucking also on the side, like, make money off of the stuff I like doing, you know? Like, I should be able to go to Japan and have a pop-up and, like, paint that whole week and then, like, have a pop-up. I should be, like, going worldwide and doing what I love doing. Everybody else can do what they love doing. Why can't I do it, you know? So I see myself really taking me and the ones that I love, like, far with the art shit. Like, I really want everyone to continuously create. Like, whatever you like doing, create. So that for sure is the number one. I really see myself not bundling down, like, nudging down myself to be, how do you even say this? Like, getting my feet together, you know, as a dad, like, getting my shoes on the right way and being, like, a family man instead of just, like, out and about all the time. Like I told you, I've been not doing that. But in the next 5 years, I really see myself just, like, focused. Like, if he's either painting or making money. Otherwise, he's at home chilling with his family. No, yeah, but if I'm out and about, like, fucking, I'm either painting, or making money. That's it. Like that's it. Like I have friends that we all love painting. We can go and paint, like enjoy our time. But I don't need to be like wasting away like in the lower, like just hanging out, or like wasting away in the Bronx, like smoking weed at a skate park. Like I don't need to be doing that. I don't even need to. I thought about it. I don't even need to be skating that much. Like I could skate like once a week. I don't even like it that much. What am I doing it for? It's not making me any money, and I don't even like it anymore. It hurts. Like I'm over it. I've moved on the path of skating, and it's sad, but like I just like painting more, and it gives me that same feeling that skateboarding gave me as a young kid. You know, that feeling where it's like I want to do it every day, and you wake up and it's like there's something new. It's like
it's always good to have something that you're really, really passionate about. Sometimes I see people, not even sometimes, but a lot of the times I see people who like they dabble in this, dabble in that, but they don't have like a fucking core, like something that's like their religion to them. And that's I've actually been thinking about that a lot lately. Like the way that you approach graffiti, it seems like it's like your religion. It's like when I say that, I'm using that term loosely, religion. It's like you're who you are from. Like when you go home and study, you're studying the graph tapes, the old graph tapes. Like you became a graffiti nerd. You remember all the spots. You remember all the names. You remember all this and that. Like you think about, the fact that Waka Flocka Flame was holding up a Kez thing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so sick to have something like that you're super, super passionate about. And I feel you on that, like with the skateboarding thing, not necessarily with skating, but like just the fact that interests change. Mm-hmm. And when you're in them, as skateboarders, bro, I was telling my parents the other day, like skateboarders are realistically, like some of the most like judgmental people. Like, yeah. You're not wearing this, you're wearing that this way instead of that way. Oh, what? You don't know this one random fact? You're cut.
You're cooked.
You don't know about this thing? You're cut. I'm not talking to you. You fucking can't front blunt pop out. Like, you can only front blunt, like if the ledge ends, you're cut.
You're done.
And dude, with that comes like, if you quit skating, you are a herb.
Yeah, dude, yes.
You are the illest. Oh, you don't skate as much as you used to. Cut, herb, kook.
Yep.
But like, realistically, dude, it's like everybody. For some people, skating is their graffiti.
Exactly.
For other people, graffiti is their skating. For other people, like this thing is their thing.
Like
and
basketball, people play basketball. They can't stop playing basketball just like they skate.
Yeah. I don't think you have to necessarily. I feel you though. Like sometimes it's sad, like seeing things that you were so interested in. But I mean, I think things like fluctuate over time.
Yeah.
You never know. You might randomly get into skating again further. But it's hard though as you get older. Not that like you're old, but as you get older, bro, like you can't just fucking. I mean, yeah, of course, there's physical danger. You might get locked, but like you're gonna fall more and get hurt skating than you are like gonna get arrested doing graffiti.
I'm not gonna get arrested doing graffiti, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know. I used to have so much drive skating. Like I was younger, I used to be like, yo, let's go all day. Like wake up, skating. Like skip school. Like I wouldn't skip a lot. But, like skip school, go skate. You know. And like I think about that. Like sometimes I'm like, why didn't I put that drive? Because I always wrote graffiti as a young kid, but it was just like on the back line. You know, it wasn't like go paint every night. It was just like I have a marker. I'm gonna catch tags throughout the day, but I'm skating. You know, my focus is to skate and to like that's it. And now I think about it, like if I would have like put a lot of time into graph as a young kid, I would be so talented now. Like, cause I painted all, like I said, I painted always, but to really like invest days and nights into painting all the time, and like, I'd be so much more talented now. Like I'd be so much more talented, way more talented. I think about that all the time.
I think you put a lot of work in though, dude. To be honest with you, I mean, you're very up around the city. Every time I go somewhere, I see your shit. Like realistically. And I'm like, yo, when I'm chilling or whatever, or doing whatever I'm doing, this kid's out there like, like I look down, dude. I remember you had this you used to always do ground tags with a streak.
I still do.
Like whenever we're just chilling, just like throwing it up on the floor and shit. I think, I don't know, I think you do your thing.
Yeah.
I know you're like a big critic when it comes to graph, like
no, yeah, I don't.
hard on yourself.
I still like don't think like. You gotta give me another 10. If you give me another 10 years of painting consistently, I'm telling you right now that you will say way different things. You'll be like, all right, this motherfucker took it to the next level. Because, okay, I came through with throw-ups. I did some throw-ups, I did some tags. But I haven't even started to, like, show where my talent is, you understand? Like, I haven't started to, like, climb up fire escapes and do pieces coming down. Like, just because I just
like
got...
Like the MTNW.
Like, that's coming. Like, you know, like, I haven't started, like, really shitting. Like, it's just started. I just started to take the poop, you know what I mean? I haven't started really shit and like wipe my ass, you know?
Yeah.
As of right now, the shit has just begun, so.
No, that's awesome, bro.
It's only 11 years painting, you know? It's only 11. people write for 50, 60 years. Hopefully I can be one of those people.
I think if you keep going, you'll reach like the black belt level of skating, dude. I mean, skating of graffiti, dude.
I know you meant, yeah.
Like, because there are those people who, bro, like when they hit something, that shit looks different now. Like that wall, if they hit it on the floor, that doesn't even look like how it looked before. They just touched it with like their grace.
It's like,
Yeah.
Like J.A. and Mista did these spots off the Bruckner in the Bronx. They did a bunch of these like floaters. Like everybody shits on this little part of the fucking, I think it's the Bruckner or the Bronx Park Express, one of the two. They shit on this whole little section of it, and it gets buffed, and they redo it, whatever. But there are these highway walls that have never been hit, like on the side of the bridges. And J.A. and Mista just did a shit ton of back-to-backs on like each one, like 6 bridges in a row, 5 bridges in a row. And that right there is like, oh, like I look at it and I'm like, oh, gold, like over there, like it's just like, but there's a shit ton of graph back there, and it was just like didn't really stick out as much. And then J.A. and Mista like did those like where people didn't hit, you know, on the bridge, and it's like, all right, there's the gold, like that's what we're waiting for, you know. So certain people like that, like they could do like they'd come out of retirement and do like a couple spots, which one I think they should never retire, but they do a couple spots here and there, and it's like they grace people with their presence.
Yeah, they know how to do it in a way that even in a wall with mad people, they end up standing out.
Standing out like it's crazy.
And that's like when you're good at something, you know, when you like turn it into your own type of art form. It's like with skating, dude. Like everyone knows how to like say back 50. But you see that ledge near the wall ride, the fence wall ride at LES, the ledge close to it with the quarter next to it. Some people come through Mach 10, 50-50, that backside 50-50, that shit's so smooth. And it doesn't look like how the other people back 50'd it. But they just did the same trick. But it's not the same thing. Like
That shit looks way crazier.
it looks way crazier.
I mean, that's how you like stand out, I feel like, in any subculture, but with graph especially, like you said, these people, they come out of retirement and they grace people with their presence because maybe they are in retirement, but they're still driving their car around, they're still scoping spots out, so they're seeing, you know what I mean, they're still seeing what people are doing and like what level they're doing it at, like how they're coming, if they're coming correct or not. And then when they do come out, they're like, I'm not going to do it like anybody because I see what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it differently, and that's how you stand out. And it's fucking sick because like I feel like you especially, I see a lot of your shit that like it's not a spot people have hit before, you know what I mean? Like you'll go the extra mile to like hit something that, and it's sick because like you would never think that was a spot. So like having that eye for certain spots, and that's only just a part of graph, is like climbing spots and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's sick though. Like I love seeing your shit just out of nowhere. Like no one's gonna copy that when they buff it. Pretty much.
There's a lot of levels to it too. Like you try to do tunnels, you try to hit the cutty spots, you try to have like clear hands that are fucking illegible, where it's just like up and down.
The crazy
When
ones.
you know what I like it when someone who's writing graffiti, when they look like they're having fun, like their movements look like art. Like a few months ago, I was like just taking some pictures of you. You had like this fucking green Arc'teryx, and you're just like, with a little silver marker, like having the time of your life.
I love that shit.
It's pretty sick, man. Like watching people have fun with it, and like something I think of like in terms of martial arts and stuff is like when you first start and you're a white belt, like you're essentially like the equivalent of in graffiti, like a total toy. You don't know absolutely anything, and like you try to do some shit. Like I'm just gonna make a metaphorical reference. Like you try to do some shit on the mats, and you just look kind of goofy. Like you don't even have control over your own body. And like these other people who are seasoned, like these other writers, like they might see you doing the same, like trying to do a fill the way they're doing it, but you're not doing the same thing. And then like as you go on and on and on, like in jiu-jitsu, it's like when you reach purple belt, it's like in a sense like you're almost a black belt. You just have to keep going. Black belt's like in theory, like not really, but total mastery. Like you know all the moves, all the counters, etc. Like you have your own style. You know what shit you fuck with and what shit you don't. Like you've dabbled in a lot of stuff, and now you've refined like your technique. But at purple belt, like you know the moves. And the way I see it is like the way you're talking. It's like you know, like okay, yeah, I did my thing with throws. Like I know how to do. I'm talking for you. Like I know how to do blockbusters. I know how to do tags. I know how to do like bevels. I know how to do fucking big throwies. I know how, if I do a throw on a wall, how I should scale it to make it look the best. I know the little flares, and when you see your graph, like as it's evolved over time, it's like you still have the same throwy. It's literally the same throwy.
It's just evolved.
But it's just evolved, and like that's like you going from like you're climbing up the ladder of the belt levels, like you're learning what you like, and it's cool to hear like you haven't started shitting like.
I really haven't.
Yeah,
like,
that's really cool to hear.
I just got to New York. Like I don't know. Some people, their whole career is 4 years. That's never gonna happen. You know, like my whole New York career has been like 4 years, but I just really started. And like I said, I haven't gotten to the point where I like have went out in the streets and like did nothing but pieced. Like I've done straight letters and I've done like throwies and stuff, but like it's just beginning. Like it just started. Like I'm young.
It's like, for example, here's like one of the like high level, like in graffiti, it's like people go on a roof spot, they do a throw. I'm thinking about a specific spot. I just don't want to say it. And but some people will go to that roof spot where people did throws here, they did maybe a straight, and then some people will do a fucking gigantic chrome and black like roller, but huge, super well done, and it's like boom. That's like black belt level.
That's it.
Then we have the throwies and we have the shit ass like tags or whatever is like the white belt level.
Yep.
We got the throwies that are shittily sized. Those are like mediocre
clipping each other
blue
and
belt.
shit.
And then you have like here came the black belt. He did a huge. Looks like it must like how did they do that?
Looks like a logo.
You start questioning how did they do that?
Yep.
Like
That's why I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. People ask like how I got there or how I did this. I'm like, it's kind of easy. Like, you know, like I haven't gotten to the point where it's like, because people call me, they're like, bro, how did you do that? And I'm like, bro, that's a throw up and it's a 2-letter. It took me 5 minutes. I don't think it's anything crazy. I like making the faces because that's how I feel at the end of the day. And like my throwy, I like my throwy, but like if I got up there and really blew your mind, you would not even be like talking to me. You'd still be staring at it. You know?
yeah, you know that's the thing. Like someone that like we did a zine with Savvy. Like when he does spots, it's done.
It's done.
And it's not, and no one can go and do it the way he just did it. Like other people, you know, if you do a throwy, I'm not saying you, but in general, if you do a throwy, someone's gonna do a throwy that's pretty the same level next to you. But then Savvy, who the fuck's gonna do that?
You cannot. Nobody can.
And consistently with that style, that's like black belt level.
Yeah, that's black belt. Yeah, exactly. And he does a lot of black and white, so he's black belt level.
That's so funny that you said savvy because I was like thinking of that too.
Me too.
I was like, you don't question their level, and I was
No,
like,
you don't
it's
question
like
it.
savvy, you know? It's
You
crazy.
don't question. And they like I've seen some of their old stuff. They progress so crazy. That shit is so like I like savvy stuff a lot.
And it's testament to like if you just stay continuously going, you'll reach it. Like you look at some of Ichabod's shit, like it's old. There was some bad shit, bro.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like there was some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And now he's black belt level too.
Yeah, black belt level.
He can do with spray paint like real characters, like that look like not traditional graffiti characters. They look like that.
Yeah, like
or
real
some
life shit. I've seen some of his real life painting. Like the skulls he does, he has some where they do that Bushwick Collective shit. He has a whole wall of skulls over there. But you can tell it's Ichabod because it's a skull, you know?
Or like when also I think something to do with Graph is like when the way that they represent themselves in interviews. So there's like, to my knowledge, 2 Ichabod interviews. The one where he's a robot voice.
Yes.
That's perfect. And then in the Rolling Like Thunder, he's wearing a fucking thing by a fire. Looks like he's in the scene from Kill Bill playing the flute, talking about Paime with the fucking Bad Brains shirt on. Dude, that's like, you just killed it, you know? You just killed it. Like, that was the perfect way that you could have represented yourself, and you did it. So that was part of your graffiti, I think.
Yeah, it definitely was.
So, yeah, what's next for you?
I don't know, it's shit. Going to catch spots tonight, baby. I'm going to fucking paint tonight, and then who sees and who knows. What's next? I'm going to fucking, I don't even know. I want to do another show soon, maybe. And I fucking just want to keep painting as much as I can. I got a lot of paint at home, so.
Any last words?
ID.
Peace.